then we would have a non-instructional aid, which will go out within the field and make sure those students who haven't been to school, making sure we get them there doing wellness checks and things of that sort. We also reviewed the baseline that the district has recommended for us and what we actually staff within the building. That's on the quick summary of notes. And we also looked at the overall summary of how funds are being allocated, with 68%, majority of it being sent to teacher salaries. We then went on to approve the draft budget, which was made. The motion to approve was made by Mr. Singer, second by Ms. Hurd. We voted. It was unanimous consent. For the principal's report, he shared that students will be receiving yonder pouches to assist in complying with the state ban on cell phone and assist with social emotional learning. We also talked about a few other announcements that were made with the basketball state playoffs against Putnam County High School, the Black History Bowl competition, and the awards program, which was February 27th. That is it for the last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting?
I make a motion that the minutes be approved from last week.
I second it.
Thank you. The motion was made by Mr. Conway and seconded by Ms. Primus. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. And now we move on to our agenda.
All right, and can we also check to make sure that we have a quorum as well?
Yes.
We have to take the attendance.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, all right.
So, Jason Brooks, Hope Dixon, Akila Light, Miss S. Primus,
Present.
I am here. Miss Henry,
I'm here.
thank you. Miss Hurd, Mr. Singer,
Here.
Mr. Conway,
Here.
Miss Pereira,
I'm here.
and Peyton Ramos. Okay. And with that, we have, we have six members present, and that gives us, 7 members present, and that gives us a quorum. And Ms. Hurd is just now joining us.
Ms. Hurd.
Welcome, Ms. Howard. Welcome.
Thank you, Situate. I appreciate it.
Right. So for our agenda, we have our action items. We've gone through the agenda. We've approved the previous minutes.
We just approved this meeting agenda, and so we'll now be moving on to the final budget recommendation presented by Principal Williams.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Copeland. And here we have our norms again in terms of our members being able to participate in our discussion. And we really want our agenda, to be noticed and posted and being public. We invite and welcome contributions from every member. We want to make sure that we're being active listeners and sharing the floor, and we'll respect all ideas. We are at the final step 7 of our Go Team process for the budget. And so we're really excited.
All students.
We have, in terms of our final budget finalization meeting, we'll review all components of the budget. We're going to look at any feedback that was given from our cluster superintendent and take action on for a vote for the FY fiscal year 27 budget. So in terms of updates, there were no changes to the draft budget that we discussed from our last meeting. One piece that was left off was that our hourly counselor was going to be reduced to 0 because we were adding a full-time counselor. So that was one. It was taken into account, but it wasn't on that actual page previously. As we look at our budget, we want to take a look at our projected enrollment is 334. When we look at what the different account descriptions, you see the bulk that is within instruction and pupil services. We also have the improvement of instructional services. Next would be school administration, actually would be third in terms of if you were to rank order that, and we have a pie chart that is following that. The amount per student per pupil is $23,195. When we look at it from a percentage standpoint, we have 68% that of our funds are being allocated for instruction. Second, again, is related to pupil services. And third is school administration. And fourth is our educational media services, as well as our improvement of instructional services. So we have, you see the pie chart to be able to see what the allocation is by percent for each of the different functions for our budget for 2027. Any questions or discussion in reference to the budget? Comments? Feedback?
When we discussed the budget in January, is that when they review what we had on the table and then made their decisions?
So they, no, not in January was like the preliminary, and when the training was taking place, where we saw what the total amount of the allocation was.
Okay.
During our budget feedback meeting in February, we took that draft budget, we went to the cluster superintendent a few days later in the month of February, had any feedback conversation, talking points, and then here we are today for the finalization, but no changes had transpired between the time that we approved it to the meeting to where we are now for our finalization go-team budget meeting. All right.
So, as you all see on the screen, the go-team needs to take action on the fiscal year 2027 budget. After the motion and second, the go-team may have any additional discussion. And once discussion is concluded, the go-team will vote. So now I will ask for approval. I will ask for a motion to approve the fiscal year 2027 budget.
I have a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Singer, second by Ms. Hurd. Is there any additional discussion? None heard. We will now move on to a vote. All in favor?
I'm sorry. I have a question.
Okay.
And then when we the positions that were placed or the allocated funding, I'm sorry. The year before they gave the employees opportunity to fill positions. Will they give them that same opportunity this year?
You say to fill positions?
For example, if someone's position has been abolished or they do not have a position because of the numbers, will the district give them opportunity or put them on front line to find a position?
So any staff member that is a part or impacted by the budget being abolished, they will have that priority in terms of interviewing for like a lateral, the same type of position.
Oh, okay. So they have priority to interview. They don't find them or get them another position. Correct. Okay.
And just so we all know, just so you can say like what positions were abolished.
Yep, we'll go back One moment here, pull that up. So when we are, sorry, I have to scroll forward. It's all the way towards the end. Okay, so when we on our 2027 budget, the far column to the right, we reduced the science master teacher leader to 0, and we are having a full-time high school science teacher. We reduced the social worker position to 0.5. We reduced the paraprofessional to 0. We reduced the hourly counselor to 0. And we reduced the clerk to 0. And we are adding 1 full-time counselor, 1 assistant principal, 1 French teacher, 1.5 ELA teacher, a 0.25 student support team specialist, and 1 full-time non-instructional aide. Any other questions or comments?
No, thank you so
No,
much.
sir.
Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
I have a question, Mr. Williams and team. So with those new positions that's allocated, how or when do those positions are posted so that we can, our school, ensure that we are getting quality candidates?
Yes, great question. So all of those positions will be posted prior to the end of the school year. So all of those positions, in terms of, like we talked about, in terms of the prioritized for people that may have been impacted, everything is going to be posted very shortly so that we can fill those positions. The goal is to have all of our positions filled prior to the end of the school year. Great question.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Alrighty, we will now move to a vote. All in favor of approving the fiscal year 2027 budget, please state aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The ayes have it. Somebody say that. Next on the agenda, we have our principals report, which will once again be led by Mr. Williams.
Okay, so as we are looking in terms of next year and some different pieces of information, we had actually the cluster advisory team meeting most recently, where we got input from our clusters, from where we were connected with the Douglas cluster. So we heard from different principals as well as the representative, the CAP member from different GO teams. And so we had to rank order our priorities relating to eSPLOST. So there's going to be more information to come with that as we go through our GO team agenda for today. We have some exciting news for us in terms of our indoor agriculture center. We actually have some sprouting vegetables, produce, and so we're really excited. We're going to be, Mr. Singer and I, Ms. Walker, Ms. Cushman, we're going to be reaching out to Goodard so that we can start with the packaging process, as well as work with our grade level that is connected to our PBL for logistics to be able to distribute the produce that we have here on campus. And so Friday is a big day for us. We have our Cognia certification. So we've been working on that. If you come down in our hallways, you'll be able to see some of the exciting PBL work that is taking place. And so we're going for the final review will take place on Friday. In terms of our boot camp, we have our boot camp where students Tuesday through Friday are actually going through the process of getting some gaps understanding some direct instruction as well as a practice with various standards based on assessments. We just received our checkpoint number 2 results, and in the ELA and the PLCs this week, staff are going over that particular data to be able to make sure that we are prepared. Did anybody want to share out from the PLC from today in terms of the data?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would like to share. I thought it was very dynamic because you could look at things from a laser focus and really work on differentiation and individualized planning for the children to customize their learning based on what they need. You know.
Indeed. Thank you for that, Ms.
You're
Hurd.
welcome.
I was speaking.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I enjoyed the fact that, first of all, kudos and shout outs to the district for creating a way to make APS graphs more accessible to where it becomes a live tool to where it's like immediate. It also gets the teacher, I know me from my perspective, it got me excited. It's like having a data party because data drives instruction. So to actually have a tool we can go in and do immediate feedback, figure out where we need to go, figure out the pathway. It's amazing tool. I love it. I'm excited.
Definitely shout out to the APS DIG team creating all of those different dashboards, and they already updated it so we can see it by standard.
Right. I was having data talks.
All right, fantastic. So that is great. That is fantastic.
It was wonderful.
In terms of our recruitment efforts, as we look at where we are currently, we are at about 130 students have applied to BEST. So the window closed on March 6th, and we're at about 130 applicants that applied. We don't know if all of those applicants will choose BEST because they may have applied to more than one school, but we're really excited to be able to welcome those students in and communicate with them and touch base to connect with them for the future at BEST Academy. So we're really excited about that. So kudos to the recruitment team. It's been an effort that has been more than 5 people, 10 people, 15 people that have played a part in that recruitment effort. It's been students. And so we added an additional piece this year for our recruitment efforts when students came to visit us on buses. And Markel, do you mind sharing out about the panel experience?
Sure. So as they were taking a tour of the building, there was a session within a library where the students would come in, and there would be a student panel depending on what grade level was coming in. Say for instance, if 8th grade was coming in, we would have high schoolers. Say for instance, if 5th graders were coming in, we would have middle schoolers. And essentially, it was just a direct way for the students to relate to them and just encourage them about BEST and tell them about the many different opportunities and the experiences they had. I would say it was pretty successful because the kids were able to actually tap into what really interests them. And so that was really a good experience for them and it really gave them that eager to come to the school. And they had some really good questions too. So they were very engaged.
That's awesome. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. In terms of our CAT meeting, we actually had the opportunity to come together with a group of principals as well as other members within the GO team to discuss about eSPLOST. Those are tax dollars that are taken that are redistributed to the schools. And so the CAT team looked at what are our priorities as the Douglas cluster. And so we were able to discuss, collaborate. This week we also had the executive board meeting, which I'm a part of. And so we actually opened that up as well to discuss that further with eSPLOST, as well as to collaborate and see how for us to improve the process for the CAT team. So got some great feedback, and we're going to be taking that into the next school year as we prepare. And so right here we have This just gives you the overview in terms of the timeline for us for the East Blast, our road for the 2027 East Blast. And so you can see here that we are right in the phase right here, community engagement. There are a series that are taking place right now called Accelerate APS. So it's on the website as well in terms of when those meetings are. It'd be great for you to attend that. We also have the cluster advisory, teacher advisory, and student advisory that is offering some input. We are presenting the East Blast proposal to the board, which will be followed by the non-SPLOST dependent redistricting for the school year 2027 to 2028. And so you can read there what the timeline is, but really it's about getting that feedback from different stakeholders to be able to present and really to build where those East Blast dollars will go. And so we're really excited about that conversation and seeing how we can improve as we move forward. And that's going to lead us to some other questions for us as a Go team to add to the conversation. And so for us, as we plan for the East Blast 2027, which capital improvements do you think have the greatest impact on our students? i.e. construction, renovation, infrastructure improvements, athletics, safety, security, technology, transportation, and why? What would you say are our top ones? What's the greatest impact on students? We're gonna open that up for dialogue, and I'll put in some notes as we are working through it.
Mr. Williams, I think personally technology.
I'm sorry, could you ask that question again one more time?
You want me to ask that? Yep, I'm gonna ask the question one more time. As we plan for the East Blast 2027, which capital improvement projects do you think have the greatest impact on our students? Construction, renovation, infrastructure improvements, athletics, safety, security, technology, transportation, or nutrition? Why? Why do you feel that way?
I would like to say technology should be number one, in my opinion. And then we can kind of go from there. Then maybe transportation and safety and security. But I know, technology is ever changing every day with AI. And I personally think that we need to continue to stay out in front of that.
I'd like to add, I agree with Mr. Singer, but my second was nutrition. Because if they eat properly, then they can think properly.
Yeah, I agree.
I was going to say nutrition as well. We have some very, very hungry students and they love to snack. And sometimes if you just, let them snack a little bit, they can focus a little bit better. And, they burn a lot of calories because they're really active boys. So I would say nutrition, especially in the sense of the quality of their food. The less sugar and additives and processed food, the better it is for them, because that also helps with brain development. And, you have to feed the brain and the body.
Well, I do know.
I agree. I was going to say that was, did you say technology, nutrition, and transportation?
Yeah, I think transportation or safety and security is always important in today's environment that we're in. I know we can only pick three, but I would probably put transportation as the third.
Okay. It would be good if you could go ahead.
Define safety and security. What would that look like? Is that cameras? Is that what does that look like?
So that's great. So safety and security looks at cameras. Our particular cluster talked about getting vape detectors in the bathrooms. We talked about that. We talked about added cameras for more visibility within the building.
Yeah.
I must agree, because I mean, experiencing just different situations this year, that is safe. And being able
our cameras.
No.
I'm sorry, Ms. CP.
It's bigger than that. It's in between classes, or it's in those nooks to where they may vape or they may decide to share, and you really don't know until they come to class. And maybe they're asleep the whole time and you think they're tired, but because we can't see really at every angle what's going on, safety and security is very important because that impacts them totally.
Very.
That's the
Well,
whole piece.
and we haven't had our cameras. I think Principal Williams, I think the year before you came back, I think Dr. Jones, it may have been you, we had to get some cameras updated out front, in front of the school by the bus drop off. And I know they did some work that summer. So, but I know that was costly. I know the cost for those cameras, it went up dramatically.
It did. We actually, between CSK and us for both schools, last school year, we spent approximately $80,000 on video cameras, video enhancing our cameras.
Just alone?
Okay.
Because we had a security grant
Right.
that last year between both schools that we used towards cameras. And so another piece people talked about was maybe even adding something where you could, like, let's say, it's a larger group of people or like a crowd building up, like from a noise perspective, there's different detectors that can do that as well.
Does that include the K9 when they come around?
No.
Okay.
And so these pieces here are not necessarily connected to personnel, though.
Okay.
These areas
Okay.
that they're referencing here are not connected to personnel. For our Douglas for the cluster, and if you could put in the chat your rank order for 1, 2, 3, if you could put that in the chat.
So, Mr. Williams, before I make that decision, could you do just like a little small snippet for A through F so we know what that looks like?
Infrastructure, because for us, we have limited access to be more flexible with our classrooms.
Yep. So facilities infrastructure could be HVAC.
Got it. Oh, got you. Thank you for clarity.
Yeah. Okay. And so in our CAT group, we talked about, it'd be great for us to, even when we get a new HVAC system or we get something that's new, be able to, for our companies that are bidding for the work within ABS, that they have a warranty, that we kind of focus in on that because sometimes things are breaking down. So that was one thing that we said for our CAT. Facilities infrastructure was number one for the CAT as a whole, for the group, based on, because each school is different though, in terms of their needs.
Right.
So we're fortunate. We have a newer campus, so we're fortunate in that respect. We don't have as many challenges within there, but we have some challenges there. Us individually as a school, technology, when we roll out new boards for all classrooms, when we amplify Wi-Fi across the campus, when we get refreshers to the students for the adults, that's related to technology. Transportation, maybe additional buses, maybe looking at our district, we went through, we modernized it, we even have some electrical buses currently. We have AC now on some buses, there's cameras on buses. And so that would be related to transportation. We talked about safety and security. One piece that was added about safety and security was, well, what about, let's say, like at Lakewood? We talked about, we're a smaller school, so it's a little different. We have different needs. But some of the larger schools are talking about, well, what about like security access to, like, let's say Lakewood? It's also talked about, now that we have the bleachers and we'll be having more games, what does that look like? So it's good conversation. From an athletic standpoint, the funds for the bleachers being added, we just had our tennis courts resurfaced. We're looking at, it's kind of tied together, but when we look at the transportation for our students, the uniform, all those different things connected to, some of those different supplies that are needed for athletics. And we kind of spoke about nutrition in terms of what's available, what type of food, variety. I like the cafeteria food.
Oh, yeah, you've been loving that for some years. So that's,
Uh,
but you know, you've
so,
been, hey, you know what? It's not bad actually. I've tried it a few times. I mean, it's not bad. But Principal Williams, you got to let everybody know if they haven't been out to the farm, we're going to have lettuce. We got to get some tomatoes. We can make the boys salads.
there you go. Absolutely. I will say, Mr. Singer, that the salad, I think I'm the biggest patron of the salad on campus.
Yeah, you are.
Right. Right.
I'll be doing it.
You're absolutely right. So, any questions before you rate them and put them in the chat? Go ahead and do that now.
The nutrition piece. Tell me exactly. I know you're talking about we have the farm, we have things that we can add to it, but if they're doing a great job or if they were not, what else allotments do we have to? Or would that include like vending machines, or what does that look like when you're looking to spend money for nutrition?
Like, for example, I know we said it doesn't necessarily include personnel, but for the like the vendor that we're using, for example,
Okay.
we want to, let's say, shift and go more vegetarian, or just how are we impacting nutrition? We might buy some new equipment for the cafeteria that would go in there that would help us. So looking at it from that perspective.
Got it.
Like having different options for meals.
There are different options for meals.
Different
Vendors.
Like
So
Chick-fil-A or
not really, because it's not controlled.
okay.
Because, like, for example, when we serve food now, if we have somebody coming in from the outside, we don't know how it was cooked exactly. We can't say how it was cooked. Everything that we have within our kitchen, we hold for like a day or a couple of days, so that let's say a student gets sick, we can go back to that food to make sure that, was it something wrong with it, or what was the batch that we got versus.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I know there are private companies like Chick-fil-A or different restaurants that cater for schools. So I was wondering if that was there.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A does. They have options.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I just asked.
That's good. Okay. I'll look into that. I'm not familiar with that. But I'll look into it.
And I guess my last question is, as far as I know we spoke about transportation, but this does not include funding to, not personnel to pay for the more buses or more options to have money for buses to travel. That's just basically adding on different things to the bus. Or is this for tickets for the kids? How does transportation work again in detail? If you needed to submit a budget for transportation, what does that look like?
That's like adding to the fleet. Let's say we're adding buses so that maybe more routes.
Okay, yeah.
So more routes could be done. Like I know one system I've seen that the students have to get themselves to the games because and so we don't have that issue, which is great.
Correct.
It would be adding more to the fleet, updating those buses, making them more secure, again, modernizing those particular buses, making sure that every single bus will have AC, making sure every single bus will have the technology of the camera as well as the audio inside of the bus.
Got it.
I'm thinking transportation is like important because I've been noticing recently we've been having like quite a few late buses, not too late, but late enough to where it's like 10 minutes in advisory where they're missing the advisory and then they missing 10 minutes of boot camp, then they have to come in. So it's just, I guess, I don't know, it may be a bus issue, maybe a personnel issue, but finding a way, how can we get our students here on time? Anything.
I agree with you. It's transportation is important, especially for us since we're zoneless. Transportation is important. There have been buses that have had to do double routes, which has been a challenge. We emailed transportation last week about that. And so an additional staff member was being hired. So it should cut it down, but we have to get here on time to be able to take advantage of everything that we have to offer. Absolutely. So if you can, go ahead and put that in the chat, what your top 3 are that you have. In the second bullet, we're going to talk about looking ahead to 2032. Woo! Yeah, so both said at the same time. Yeah, Markel will be out of college. Right? Look at that. Look at that.
On the beach.
Primus will be retired.
I prefer to be on the beach constituents.
Which would be the final year of SPLOST 27. What are 1 to 2 physical changes, capital projects that would make you feel East SPLOST was a success?
Definitely infrastructure if we're looking forward, the upkeep of the building. That would be
So the building. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially with us, what the district wanted us to get 600 children in here. That's definitely going. Yeah, that's
infrastructure.
yeah.
So is there a physical change though, or a capital project? Capital project is something where
It's like it affects the building.
Capital campaign, yeah. I don't know if you can. I think our school's blueprint is, I don't know where you can add, even if we get to 700 students, what does that look like? So, I mean, I don't know if we can't add any more rooms. And we don't have any space outside to create any more buildings. So that's a great question.
It may be more so the type of furniture you purchase to accommodate those students, if that makes sense.
That does.
It may look like a lounge, but with the little chairs. Exactly.
Autonomous desk.
There you go.
2032.
Yeah. So it's the infrastructure. I don't think we can do anything to that. That's in place, But as far as what type of furniture goes into each classroom to accommodate the number of students that we're servicing.
Like that furniture on People Street, the 21st Century Learner classroom, with the high bars.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could accommodate because you could get at least 30 kids in the classroom with the correct furniture.
Okay. I know.
Not the desk.
Right. I know one piece that I was kind of on my mind was perhaps a baseball field. I know this is the area behind the PAL, but I think the city is doing a lot of movement in there. But that was one piece. But I think you're right in terms of space, how we are contained to a certain extent. That was a project, adding the indoor agriculture center. Is there anything else that you see as a physical change or a capital project?
And I don't know if this is a crazy comment, but we don't know what it's going to look like around there in 2032. We see currently what's going on, but if you go out of our school now and go to the right, and they've torn down all those trees, does anyone have any idea what they're doing?
I think it's affordable house. Roundabout. It's going to be roundabout. And then I think they're putting up affordable housing right there with those houses and stuff. That might be where you said they cut down trees. They may put up affordable housing right there.
I think we may need to also include the city in the conversation to see if they will allot some of that space from the rec center.
Yeah, because they turned that down.
Yeah, because it's really huge on the inside. That was one of my sites. It's really, really large. To see if they would be willing to rent us some land.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, all we can do is ask.
That's it.
Right. That's all we can do. And so thank you everybody for that. Are there we talked a little bit about some announcements, but are there any other announcements?
We have a PTSA meeting tonight.
Okay.
I think that's 6 to 7:30.
Okay. We did talk about the Black History competition. Dr. Smart's team won. Whoop, whoop.
Yes, I know.
They won.
Exactly.
We were excited about that. Did you want to share out just about the debate?
Oh, yes. So last Saturday, the debate team went out up north. I can't think of what school that was. But we had some students place. Jaden placed first place for the JV division in terms of Spiegels Awards. He has a positive. I can't remember what he placed, what him and Devin placed as a team, but I think they placed somewhere in the top 5 or top 5 somewhere. And then I placed second for my division, which was varsity division. And I placed second.
Congrats.
Thank you. And I placed second for team overall.
Did you want to share out the charter piece?
Yes. So this year the district is going through its charter renewal system. So this morning they had the interview process with the superintendent. I was in attendance representing the GO teams, and so the conversation was pretty much And so the conversation was pretty much about what are we doing on focusing on literacy, especially because we've had big gains within literacy, and how are we, continuing to develop that process, and what are we doing to modernize it for our students, especially with our early childhood education, with the kindergarten through 3rd grade, and then keeping up that foundation within 6th grade on a high school. We also talked about college career readiness, about how with ACCA expanding that program, those different programs and such. I'm pretty sure we'll stay open, but we'll get the official word on that either in April or June, when the State Board of Education looks at the contract for us.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, sir. Way to represent. The GO team declarations have been extended. So please take a look here if you're interested. We're going to pull up our public comment, because we do have public comment today. Let's see if I'm going to pull that up in 90 seconds. That one was a response to the actual piece.
I think if you hit the pencil down on the bottom right there.
What does that do then?
I think you should be able to.
We'll pull it up. Pull it up. Does anybody have any other announcements before we end for today? Comments or announcements?
No, sir.
We have several young men who are part of TRIO at Morehouse. And last weekend was TRIO Day, and it took place in Eatonton, Georgia, at the 4-H camp yard, camp house, camp place. And we had the Scholar Bowl. We did not place, however, Jameer Millsap, he was recognized as a future achiever with Morehouse as a TRIO student. So I thought that was great.
Go ahead, Kabir. Yeah, we're really looking at different programs for the summer for our students to be able to participate in, to be able to continue their enrichment, both academically as well as different unique experiences.
I have another announcement. Dr. Trewick called earlier and said Morehouse is offering classes for free for those who are TRIO members, and they can earn college credits, grades 9th through 12th. Those classes are African American Studies, college algebra, and biology. They're paying for each class, so it is free to gain a college course, 9 hours at that.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So if you know someone, 9th through 12th grade, online, who needs college credits, why not?
That's pretty incredible right there. Any other announcements? Mr. Singer, did you want to share anything coming up?
No. I think we're just trying to finish up strong. I know you and I haven't talked about this yet, but I know they want to do the poetry contest. We just got to figure out when we'll be able to pull it off. And the essay, the poetry, and the art that we've done the past few years around anti-gun violence, So I had a meeting with them today, but you and I haven't talked in general about what would that potentially look like with us winding down the school year.
And anything on your end, Ms. Hurd, that you have?
No, pretty quiet on that's great.
Okay, all right.
We've done our festivities, we're gonna,
Okay.
we're focused.
About you, Mr. Cole?
In terms of HCA, this month is Self-Harm Awareness Month. So if you get a chance to stop by the cafeteria, we'll have posted an affirmative wall where students can just write anything, words of encouragement for anyone else that may be going through something. We'll also be holding a voter registration drive for our seniors so we can make sure we get them registered to vote and they know where they can vote at and making sure they go through that process. It's also Social Worker Appreciation Month. The SGA will be recognizing Dr. Roberts for his hard work and effort in terms of the students. We also have Green Out Day for St. Patrick's Day, which is Tuesday, March 17th. So come to school and you'll green because we'll be ripping out St. Patrick's Day. Also Monday, coming up Monday the 16th, that is an early release day.
Yeah.
So high school, I believe, gets dismissed at 12:30.
Yep, and middle school.
And middle school, yes,
Yep.
for yes.
For the school.
Mhm.
Thank you, sir.
I did want to add,
Yes.
I have things upstairs for everybody that can walk by recipe books and things of that
Okay.
nature that correlate with the PBL.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
So
All
that
right,
I
well,
found on the
that's-
table.
Okay, perfect. And we do not have any responses for our public comment form. And so,
Mr. Williams, I'm sorry, one more announcement.
yes, please.
Eighth grade dues are due, and we're approaching their they call it the dance, and that will be in May. It's May 15th, and they're excited. I think it's $150. That includes their yearbook, dance, celebration, food. So we're excited. They're excited, and that's coming soon.
We have in this presentation for this month, we also have our feedback presentation is going to be in the back as serving as an appendix within our presentation for today. And I'll turn it over to the chairman.
Okie dokie. If there are no more announcements, I will call for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Ms. Hurd.
I second.
Second by Ms. Priebus. All in favor say aye.
Bye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The time is now 6:04. This meeting is adjourned. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.
Thank you,
You
everybody.
too as
Thank you.
well.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Great
Bye-bye.
evening, everyone.